Is that still a goal for you?
В данный момент многие же понимают, что существует столько много политики для объединения, и не все лучшие боксеры, кто имеет даже все пояса, являются лучшими. Цель другая, цель быть лучшим в мире, а не иметь уже все пояса. То есть, и имея все пояса, это не говорят, что ты лучше. Много политики для объединения, и не все лучшие боксеры, кто имеет даже все пояса, являются лучшими. Цель другая, цель быть лучшим в мире, а не иметь уже все пояса. То есть, и имея все пояса, это не говорят, что ты лучше.
People understand right now there is a lot of politics about all these belts, etc. The idea is not to have all the belts possible, but the idea is to be the best boxer, and sometimes those people have
все пояса. То есть, и имея все пояса, это не говорят, что ты лучше.
People understand right now there is a lot of politics about all these belts, etc. The idea is not to have all the belts possible, but the idea is to be the best boxer, and sometimes those people have belts are not the best boxers.
As you mentioned, Gennady, you had other options when you were choosing what's next for you. How important was a third fight with Canelo to you?
Конечно, это очень важно для меня, это очень важный пункт был для меня, но в данный момент мы хотим иметь самые большие бои, мы хотим иметь самые интересные бои, мы хотим быть именно на вершине боксерского мира. То есть это неотъемлемая часть того, чего я хочу.
Well, of course, this was a very important point for me, this fight with Canelo. But right now, what we want to do, we want to have the most important fights in boxing, you know, many different important fights. That's what I want to do right now.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Boxing Facts or Fiction. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. So Gennady Golovkin breaks the news to everybody. He was in negotiation with ESPN. He was in negotiation with Fox. But he chose to go down the DAZN route. He chose to chase Canelo like we've seen before. He's chasing that third fight with Canelo Alvarez. He's chasing the much smaller guy in Canelo Alvarez. He's already lost to this guy twice, in my opinion. But he still wants to chase this guy. He don't want to chase this guy to beat the guy. He want to chase the guy because he wants a payday. It's all about payday. I mean, this is a guy in Gennady Golovkin I became a fan of because I thought the guy wanted to unify the divisions. I thought the guy wanted every single belt. But here's a guy in Gennady Golovkin who just did a public interview announcing he's a part of DAZN, and these people are at DAZN are asking him, do he want to unify all the belts? And Gennady Golovkin said something so outrageous, I couldn't believe my ears. Guys, Gennady Golovkin said something so outrageous, I couldn't believe my ears. Gennady Golovkin said, belts are not important. He said his goal is not the belts right now. His goal is to be the best. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm trying to figure out who's in Gennady Golovkin's corner, who is directing Gennady Golovkin's career. Who is telling Gennady Golovkin what to say? Did he rehearse what to say before he comes out? Or Gennady Golovkin is being advised badly? Because you don't say stuff like that when the entire world's watching. When we all know that the ultimate goal in boxing is to be a champion, to be a world champion. That's what guys train their whole life for. Their whole life. Guys train their whole life just to be a world champion. So when you become a world champion, that's the best feeling in the world. To hold the belts. I mean, if Gennady Golovkin is not still in boxing to be the best, why is he still in boxing? If he don't want to win belts, what's the point of boxing? You cannot be the best if you don't have all the belts. You cannot be the best if you don't have all the belts. Having all the belts solidify your dominance, solidify your legacy. Everybody can look at you and say, that's the guy, that's the best guy in the division. He has all the belts. He has beaten everybody that he needs to beat because he has all the belts. That's how you separate yourself from the rest of the pack. Clearly, Gennady Golovkin knows that's the case. To be the best, you have to go after the belts. But that's not Gennady Golovkin's goal right now. He needs to just tell the public, that's not my goal. My goal is just to get that Canelo Alvarez third fight. That's really my goal. Promote my company, GGG Promotion, and get a Canelo third fight. Instead of telling the public belts is not important. Gennady Golovkin is deceiving the public. You got young kids watching you. People look up to this guy. You do not tell the public that belts doesn't matter. When is the ultimate goal in boxing is why people take up boxing, because they want to be a world champion. If you're going to be a role model for the sport, you don't say nonsense like that. You don't say stuff like that. I'm very disappointed in Gennady Golovkin. He has his own agenda. His agenda is not to go after all the champions. His agenda is just plain and simple, promote GGG Promotions and have a third fight with Canelo Alvarez. It don't matter who he fights, as long as he gets his third fight with Canelo Alvarez and he gets to promote his fighters. That's his goal. Maybe Gennady Golovkin took a lot of damage against Canelo Alvarez in those two fights. Gennady Golovkin isn't thinking straight right now. He may have a lot of brain damage. But let's go back in time. Let's revisit Gennady Golovkin past interviews when he said he wanted all the belts. Now he's older, or maybe he has too much brain damage. He's saying a lot of nonsense.
It is possible, just I'm staying here. Do you have anything you want to say to Canelo Alvarez, who has a fight with Amir Khan coming up in a couple of weeks? It doesn't matter who wins, just give me my belt. Hey, I need my belt. I'm ready, guys. Thank you. It is possible, just I'm staying here. Say to Canelo Alvarez, who has a fight with Amir Khan coming up in a couple of weeks. It doesn't matter who wins, just give me my belt. Hey, I need my belt. I'm ready, guys. Thank you.
Guys, you heard it from Gennady Golovkin himself. This is the same guy that's saying it's not about the belt. But just 2 years ago, what did he say? Give me my belt. I need my belt. But 2 years later, it's not about the belt. Then what is it about? What is this guy talking about, man? Why is he trying to fool the public? Why is Gennady Golovkin trying to fool the public? Why is Gennady trying to deceive the public? Man, I'm a huge fan of Gennady Golovkin. I like the way the man fights. But I'm not liking the way he's talking. I don't like this energy. He needs to keep the same energy he had from 2 years ago when he wanted all the belts, when he wanted all the champions. Now he's just chasing Canelo again. It's not about legacy with this man. It has always been about the money. That's exactly how he's showing. That's what he's showing to us. He's showing to us it's never been about legacy. It's never been about I want a real fight. It's always been about cashing out. Gennady Golovkin wants to cash out. He does not want to fight young undefeated fighters. He doesn't want to fight the champions. He wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez. Promote GGG Promotions. That's the only goals he has. GGG Promotions Canelo Alvarez. That's the two things on Gennady Golovkin checklist. He will go at extreme means just to make those two things happen.
I think he returns to the welterweight division. I don't think he's lost any luster. I think he did a lot for most people come there. You want it next? Does it happen?
Yeah, of course, yeah, I want.
You've been waiting. You always say hashtag give me my belt.
Absolutely, you know, just right now I think Golden Boy top welter. Our plan.
You're ready.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's a great fight.
And Amir Khan, a lot of balls, a lot of heart.
Amir Khan, you know, he's a good fighter. It's just I want to run out. I respect him. He's warrior.
Did you hear Amir Khan tell Canelo? Amir Khan told Canelo fight through Gojin.
I know this is a very difficult fight to Amir Khan. He's a smart guy. I respect him.
Were you impressed, Gennady? Were you impressed by how Canelo fought?
No, this is not a big surprise for me. Canelo's Canelo, you know. Everybody understands Canelo. He needs middleweight, you know, a middleweight fighter.
So if you fight Canelo, what happens?
I don't know. I'm not God. I want this fight.
When you saw the knockout, Gennady, when you saw him getting knocked out, what did you think?
Big shot. It's huge. This is boxing.
And what'd you make of him saying it's not time to fuck around anymore? When Canelo said that,
You know, he said just he's ready to fight. Of course, you know, this is a big present.
were you surprised he told you to get in the ring?
Not surprised, you know, just I got to the ring, everybody like got scared, like, oh, no, you know, just...
Oh, they were acting like that to you when you got in the ring?
Of course, you know. It's okay. You know, I have 15 days for business, for plan, you know. I think possible.
Thank you.
My heavy jab, I touch you. I'm waiting, just, you know, like, I want, like, crazy attack, crazy style, like street fight. You know, not this side. I think David, he's strong guy, he's good warrior. You know, not this side. And I think we have a little bit different boxing IQ, different style, like class. I know you wait.
I think Gennady Golovkin just says a lot of stuff, just anything that pops to his head. The guy says he wants a street fight. After the David Lemieux fight, he wanted a street fight. Guy says he wants all the belts. 2 years later, he says he don't want the belts. He wants Mexican fight. But when he fights David Lemieux, he uses the jab.
What happens if they say no? What happens if they don't want to fight you? What's your plan B?
Not my dream fight. My goal is all the belts, middleweight division. In the middleweight division, you know, I want all the belts. It's my plan. It's my plan A.
The priority, Dan, is to see who's the winner of November 21. Usually, I'm already planning his next fight, but this one will definitely.
That's your dream fight. Everybody here wants to see who goes to. What happens if they say no? What happens if they don't want to fight you? What's your plan B?
Not my dream fight. My goal is all the belts, middleweight division. In the middleweight division, you know, I want all the belts. It's my plan. It's my plan A.
The priority, Dan, is to see who's the winner of November 21. Usually, I'm already planning his next fight.
To fight you, what do you want to happen now? I want everybody. First of all, this is belt, this is Cinco de Mayo, thank you, WBC family. This is big deal to all people to congrats guys, just Cinco de Mayo, forever. When you say everyone, obviously the hope would be a Canelo rematch on Mexican Independence Day weekend. Is that what you're interested in? Absolutely, he's ready, just I'm ready anytime. Are there any other middleweights out there? That's the hard for me. I'm still champion, lost 9 years, just I have a lot of belts, just come and just take my belt. But the reason I ask for names now is because a couple years ago, the division didn't have a lot of interesting fighters. But now Daniel Jacobs has made a real name for himself. Charlo is there. Andre's around. There are suddenly a lot of good fighters in the division. Are there any of those named fighters who are elite fighters that you would like to fight? To clean out the division. Absolutely. Gennady, thank you very much. Good to see you again. Hope to see you in several months in the ring with Canelo. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everybody, for your support, and congratulations for Cinco de Mayo. Thank you, guys.
He said 157 he'll fight you. Too small?
Small, yeah. You know, my focus on the most in the middle division right now. Caleb broke out, everybody just trash talk.
Trash talk?
Yeah. He's ready, of course, you know. Why Canelo? Because he's champion middleweight. Why Goto? Because he's champion. He's the champion in Central Parts in the middleweight. My focus on the middleweight division. You know, my goal is all the belts in the middleweight division. Because, you know.
Okay, guys. You hear Gennady Golovkin. This was just 2 years ago. Gennady Golovkin. He said his goal is all the belts at middleweight division. But somewhere along those lines, somebody got into Gennady Golovkin's head. Maybe it was Tom Loeffler, maybe it was Abel Sanchez, but somebody got into Gennady Golovkin's head. Gennady Golovkin that had the energy that he wanted every single belt, as you can hear in every single interview I have played so far. Every time he talks about belts, because belts is the ultimate goal in boxing. It's the ultimate prize, separating you from the rest of the guys when you become a champion. Only a fool will tell you that belt doesn't matter. So for Gennady Golovkin to blatantly sit here and say he's not focused on belts, belts don't matter, Gennady Golovkin sounds like a fool. Because just 2 years ago, Gennady Golovkin was saying he wants all the belts. He wants all the champion. Because he knows the significance when you have all. Gennady Golovkin knows what that represents. Becoming a world champion. Like I said, people train their entire life since they were babies just to hold that IBF belt, that WBC belt, that WBO belt, that WBA belt, that IBO belt. That people train their entire life just to hold those belts around their waist. How dare Gennady Golovkin tries to give us a different narrative. How dare Gennady Golovkin try to change the public opinion on belts, when we all know that's the only reason why guys are boxing. They're boxing because they want to be looked at as the best in the division. Being the best in the division means you have cleaned out the division and you have all the belts. That's your proof.
Caleb broke out, everybody just trash talk.
Trash talk?
Yeah. He's ready, of course, you know. Why Canelo? Because he's champion middleweight. Why Goto? Because he's champion. He's the champion in Central Parts in the middleweight. My focus on the middleweight division. You know, my goal is all the belts in the middleweight division. Because, you know, I feel it's great division, like history division, like Monson, like Bernard Hawkins, you know, it's amazing fight.
Okay, guys, that's 100% proof, 1000% proof. Gennady Golovkin just says stuff just to say it. I think he needs to have a better team around him to coach him into saying the right things, because he's saying all the wrong things now. Or maybe I need to refresh you guys' memory again when Gennady Golovkin says belts don't matter. But in all these other interviews, that's his only goal. My goal is all the belts. I want all the belts in the middleweight division. But 2 years later, Gennady Golovkin has a different tone. I think it's very deceiving to the kids that look up to a guy like Gennady Golovkin. It's very deceiving to up-and-coming fighters that look up to a guy like Gennady Golovkin. So what are people fighting for? If it's not the belts, then what are you fighting for? Are we just fighting just for the money? Is this why it's called prize fighting? We just fight because of the money? Is not to be recognized when you have what comes with winning a world championship, a belt for you to have for your collection that don't matter no more? I think Gennady Golovkin needs to think twice before he starts saying stuff like that, because it's really a bad look on a guy like Gennady Golovkin, who is being used as a guide to show the sport of boxing to the rest of the world. They're trying to use Gennady Golovkin as one of the premier images of boxing, a guy to look up to. But how can you look up to a guy like Gennady Golovkin if 1 minute he's saying he wants to be the best and go after all the belts, and the next minute he's saying belts don't matter? He's contradicting himself. He's acting like these interviews are not out here for the public to see. You know, it's disgusting when you listen to a guy like Gennady Golovkin, who is praised by the boxing world. We cannot say it is because his English is bad. No, it has nothing to do with English. The guy knows what he's talking about. Gennady Golovkin's only goal is Canelo Alvarez and his promotional team. He's not worrying about legacy. I've been stressing this for a long time. I've been trying to give Gennady Golovkin a break, but he's continued to tell us what his goals are. His goals from 2 years ago and this year is not the same. His goals from 2 years ago, he wanted to be the best. This year, he wants to make all the money. He wants to make all the money, and he wants to get his fighters to make some money as well. That's Gennady Golovkin's goal. His goal is not the belts, which is unbelievable.
Once wanted to completely unify the division. Is that still a goal for you?
В данный момент многие же понимают, что существует столько много политики для объединения, и не все лучшие боксеры, кто имеет даже все пояса, являются лучшими. Цель другая, цель быть лучшим в мире, а не иметь уже все пояса. То есть, и имея все пояса, это не говорят, что ты лучше. Цель другая, цель быть лучшим в мире, а не иметь уже все пояса. То есть, и имея все пояса, это не говорят, что ты лучше.
People understand right now there is a lot of politics about all these belts, etc. The idea is not to have all the belts possible, but the idea is to be the best boxer, and sometimes those people who have belts are not the best boxers.
As you mentioned, Gennady, you had other options when you were choosing what's next for you.
Gennady Golovkin makes it clear that he's not interested in winning any belts. So for us to look forward to Gennady Golovkin probably fighting like a guy like Demetrius Andre may not happen in the future. Golovkin is not interested in none of that. He's interested in his third fight with Canelo Alvarez and promoting his promotional company. I won't lie to you guys, I'm very disappointed in a guy like Gennady Golovkin, who for years HBO built as the face of boxing, somewhat the face of HBO boxing, if I want to be specific. Here's a guy 2 years later has changed his tone and is picking his fights. But yeah, guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. Let me know if you agree with Gennady Golovkin take on belts not being important. Do that even make sense, that belts are not important? Do belts not mean that you are the best in the division when you have all the belts? Or is belts the thing of the past?